morning, everybody. This is Jean here. I have a visitor in my sewing room. Patty C has come to visit today. She's getting ready to get dressed. She's not done. She's not quite done yet. Part 5 of my dress tutorial, my pattern from Heine, which I put my own touches on. As you can see in my previous 4 videos of me tutorialing this, how I did this pattern. To be honest, I was very intimidated when I bought the pattern. I thought, oh, I just was very intimidated. Even I've done a bunch of collage quilts, but I was intimidated by whatever. Personally, I broke this pattern down, and it was very simple. I've cut and I've glued, and I've transferred a pattern. That's about it to get to this point. Not 1 ounce of sewing yet. Not 1 ounce of sewing, because as you know, I used the backing, my background fabric, which was wide. I was mistaken. I said fabric is 60 inches wide. It's not. It's 54 inches wide. So this quilt measures about 54 by about 74 inches. A very decent wall hanging, as you can see. It will be a wall hanging. It's not. It's a large wall hanging, but obviously with her hair, it's not going to be a quilt that you would cuddle under. It's nice and substantial, but it's not that heavy. I used home deck fabric for the backing, as you know. She's not done. Some of the things are pinned on. My butterflies here are pinned on, and her hair is pinned on. I'm going to put up a few clips of how Elliot and I were messing about with her hair and with her eyes, and this is almost the final version, I think. Although her hair is doll hair, and this was cheapo doll hair I got at the craft store. I've ordered maybe a little bit better doll hair. I don't know. I think it was a few dollars more from Amazon. So I'm going to see. So this may or may not be the finished product. I was listening to one commenter, Jed, I like the idea of a braid. I like that very much, because doll hair can tend to get a little bit fuzzy. Jed suggested 2 braids with bows. I'm going to put a bow on. That's the whole thing. But I just settled with 1 braid. And my husband came in, and I had 1 eye. As you will see, we were messing about with 1 eye, which we were cutting up. It didn't look very good. But all of a sudden I thought, oh, a false eyelash, right? So, but one false eyelash, for that, the hat's over her 1 eye. So I sent Maxwell to Walmart. I sat in the car. I was really tired. I'm like, go and get me a pack of false eyelashes. He's like, what? But he did. He got me the biggest, spideriest false eyelashes. So I had my 1 eye, right? It's all high fashion, sleek. My husband comes in, and he's very conservative. He said, oh, darling, he said, where did the other eye fall off? I'm like, this is high fashion and funky. And he said, but a bit odd. I said, I'm funky. You married me, like. But he's, oh, you have 2 eyes, darling. I'm like, no. So I said, no. So I'm like pushing the 1 eye thing, right? The hat's over her eye. Anyway, he's like, oh, it's so beautiful. I love it. So lovely, darling. So he walked out, and I'm like, okay. Maybe I'll put another eye on. I put the other eye on. I may or may not put the other eye on. Everything is just pinned. Well, everything is glued except the butterflies and her eye and her hair. I chose these butterflies. I have butterfly fabric, which is very realistic, almost photorealistic. I got it out, and I thought it didn't look quite good. So I went shopping in my room again, and I found these butterflies, which are more whimsical and more of a saturated colors, and more funky, lighter and airier than the photorealistic butterflies, which I like. I like them floating up there. Now again, what I'm going to do now is I haven't sewed anything. I've glued everything down. I'm going to finish gluing all the bits, so when I take it over to my machine, everything will be nice and solid. What I will do now is I will sandwich it with a batting and a backing. I don't know what backing, because it's just a wall hanging, but I will put on a nice fabric in one of my fabric here. And then I'll very carefully go over to my machine, my Juki, and I will free motion quilt this. I'll free motion quilt all of this, not within an inch of its life, but with some detail on the backing. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it, because it'll talk to me when I get to my machine. It'll talk to me. Well, no, they do. They do. Some quilts you're thinking, well, I don't know how to quilt this, but I'm going to quilt it. When I finish it, when I bind it, and when I finish it, binding it, I do believe I'm going to do black and white on one end and on one side, and the zebra stripe on the other two sides, to make it, to bring your eye for the black out to the edge. I quite like that idea. Then, when it's done, then I can finish dressing her. She is going to have a beauty mark. She's going to have a beautiful necklace. She's going to have bracelet, and she's going to obviously have buttons down her waistcoat. And then the butterflies and the flowers of down here lend themselves to just having a few crystal blings in them. I've never done, as I was saying, I've never done the crystal fixer on her. So I did buy it, but I have to figure that one out. But I might do a little bit of trim around her waistcoat here, her vest. I also had, there's not enough here, but I had gotten this beautiful trim, this beautiful gold and cream braid. And I might just put that right next to the binding all around, just to add that bling out to the edge. I might or may not. But for now, this is my girl. She's not quilted. As you know, she's lovely, but when quilts are quilted, they come alive. They come to life. So, but that's gonna take me the time. This really didn't take a lot of time, because all I was doing was cutting out flowers, cutting out shapes, and gluing them onto my background. That's it. Not an ounce of stitching here. Basically this is what she's going to look like when she's done, when she's quilted, but all blinged out, real pretty. So it was a fun project. I recommend, as I said, I was intimidated, but no more. Collage quilting, I was intimidated with the pattern. Go figure. I wasn't intimidated when it was coming out of my head. It's funny that. But I enjoyed this very much, making her my own. So the few clips I'm going to put up is I'm going to show you how I actually did my gluing. When I say I glued stuff down, how I've placed it, cut it, and glued it. And then I'm showing you my shoes. So there's my girl. I love her. She's so pretty. I'm going to put a hanging sleeve on her, admire her for a little while, and then I'll probably put her in my shop. I don't have a wall. Somebody said, you have a wall big enough? I'm like, no, I don't have a wall big enough. She's so pretty. But I will admire her because she's just so pretty. I love it. So by all means, folks, go out and get the patterns. Look up Laura Heine. She has an unbelievable imagination for her collage quilts. Unreal. I just deconstructed the instructions for me. I dumbed them down. And this is what I come up with. I'm so pleased. And thank you so much for following along in my tutorial or whatever this has been. She's been fun. But I will show you at the end of the day when I'm all done and she's all quilted, however long that will take me. I have some other projects. I'll show you her in all of her glory. Okay, folks, thanks so much. Have a lovely day. Bye. I'm still working on my collage quilt. This is part 5. And I just wanted to show you, I've chosen and stuck down my one border. I've just started doing my border. And my theme is pretty much flowers, although there's a little owl there. So I've just put in a load of flowers. But what I wanted to show you is I'm going to be curving my corners here as I do. So I just put in a curved like paisley point. Now also what I want to show you is I want to sort of anchor, whether you see it or not, I don't know. I want to sort of anchor each corner with a dark burgundy rose flower. So in that corner I have that rose flower, and I want to finish up. I love this print. I don't know who it's by. I had a yard of it and had these large clusters of roses, pink and burgundy roses. So I've ended this edge here with the pink rose and the burgundy rose in the corner. And then I've punctuated all my other little flowers with quite large flowers. I have a large sunflower, a large rose, different manufacture, some whatever they are. And then this greenery, which I love, the lime greenery, which I think picks up her waistcoat. I like that pop of green. just punctuating that. I'm still working on the hat and the face. But I've just glued these down. Okay, I've just glued down my border, this side of my border. And I just wanted to show you what I'm also working on this quilt. I've glued that down. I just wanted to take a few minutes and show you how I glue stuff down. Now you might be thinking, oh, collage quilt, there's a 25, 30, 40 images there. Do I glue every single one? I don't do that. I'll show you how I do it. They're all affixed. As you know, I'm working on her top hat. I use my handy dandy glue stick, my Elmer's washable glue stick. Now I wasn't going to put anything in this corner up here. I was not going to put anything, oh, let me just turn this light off. I was not going to put any flowers. Now if you can see, I'll pull back. You can see that it's not the same. That border there, that flower border, is much larger. Goes almost to the center of the quilt and all the way down to her dress. This one I chose just to have a little corner. But if you notice, I have a burgundy flower in the corner and a little paisley at the top. Just a little thought. And then I finished it off with a pink rose here. Like my pink rose over there. So, and my burgundy rose, and then my burgundy rose. So I believe I'm going to do that on all the corners. There's just a little bit of flower over here. It was a little bit too stark. Yeah, sure, right? It's so colorful. But I'm just going to put a few flowers. Now I'm going to put my camera up on my tripod and I'm going to show you how I glue. Now, I will remove this. I will remove that selvage. Yeah, I have removed it over on that edge. I'll remove the selvage, and as you can see, I'll set these a little bit in because I'm going to finish the quilt. I'm going to put a binding on it. I'll have to bind this quilt. And again, I'm going to curve that top corner. So I don't want to waste my images over there. So I'll just stick that sort of paisley to follow the curve around. Just a slight curve. But I like the idea of grounding the corners with the burgundy, same print rose. You may not realize it, but then your eye sort of does see it. And then this is just a small garland here. So I'm going to put my camera up. I'm going to show you. I'll probably do it in reverse. I have to stand over there to show you how I actually do the gluing. So as you guys know, I use my Elmer's glue stick, and oh, it's gotten stuck. Let me get a fresh one. So this is how I buy my Elmer's glue stick. They're school glue. This one my son picked up, and it's a disappearing purple, it's actually quite nice. I don't mind the disappearing purple, and it really does disappear. So I have all of these flower images just sort of laid down to my. I like it. I like that very much. Just stick that little thing in there. There's no rhyme or reason. You really mustn't overthink placing your flowers, or you'll really get messed up. You could stay here a month of Sundays going, oh, that doesn't go there. Just put it down. It'll look great. So, well, I would have started up here, but I'll start down here. So what I do is, there's a flower there, right? All I'm going to do is, just for now, I'm going to put a hunk of glue under that flower. Now here's another one I'm just going to lift up. I'm putting it on the fabric itself. Right? I'm putting it on my background. Now I know for sure that this stuff disappears. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm just sort of quickly affixing the images down. Whoops, the images down. Just stick that in there. But I'm doing it for now on the fabric itself. See my dotted glue? I can see that. Boom, done. So I'm just going to do here. Come and do the blue. Look how quickly this works up. There's a little hunk there. Pull my thing. Now here's my sunflower. Now you just sort of have to just fix them down. Oh, that's upside down. Oh, that's good. That'll be fine. Put my heart down there. Put this little blue thing. Now what I will do is I'll come back. Look, I'm almost done. So there's my blue. Hopefully you can see this in the frame. There's my purple. Now this is a big one. This this piece here is this beautiful piece of fabric. There's a little heart. I'll just come down, I'll come underneath this big piece here. Just stick it down, boom. Put a little heart there. Stick that flower. Now, obviously the edges aren't secured, but I'll come to that. And this final one, there, boom, there. I'm almost done. Look, a couple minutes. And now my lovely big one that sort of frames the top here. Just like that, boom, done. Now, my images are pretty much down. Look at that, 2 seconds. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'll just go back and I'll lift up the edges and I'll just do it on the edge of the, just a little bit, just a dot. As you know, I'm going to be free motion quilting my bits. So I just need these to stay on till I get to my sewing machine. The actual pattern, as you know, is more of an iron on, and I don't know how they tell you to fix, I guess you do this steam a seam and cut out each one. Oh my word, I don't have the time for that. So I'm doing it this way. These Elmer glue sticks are incredible. They really are. And they disappear. And yeah, look, it's already down. It's already down. So I'll just come along, boom, down, my heart. I'll just make sure that all of the, look, it's already stuck down. And again, as I said, I just need to be sure it's going to stick down until I get to the sewing machine where I can really sew it down. So there is my images, my flowers. How long did that take? I'll let that glue set up and just pat it all down. Go back, there's some looser bits. Just do a little dab of glue, and that is it. My 2 whole borders, my flower borders, are fixed down to my satisfaction until I get to my machine. So that's just a handy little hint for doing my collage borders. I'm gonna work on her hat and her hair, but I'll be back. Right now I want to show you what I'm doing. If you remember in the very beginning, I was addressing the pattern and I cut off about 20 inches of pattern, which included her legs. Now again, I've not read the instructions, but I guess this leg has a shadow or something. I don't know what that is. But I'm just making 2 legs, 2 straight legs, making it simple on myself. But I also want to attach ballet slippers. But I want to show you how I address the legs. I'm over here at my ironing board. And as you know, I did a foundation, right? I did a foundation of cream muslin. So there's my muslin. But what I've done is I did it on the chest and I did it on her arms and her face. I did 2 layers. I did 2 layers of the pale pinkish fabric for her legs and the chest on top of the 1 layer of foundation. There's 3 layers of fabric here. Now what I've done is, I'll show you with my ballet shoe. What I've done is I laid out the foundation bigger, and 2 pieces of this pale pink twice. I then, between the first layer of the foundation and the second and the first layer of the pale pink, I did glue. And then on the second one, I did glue. So I'm, in essence, making 3 pieces of fabric glued together. Bright purple. Look at it. Bright purple. It has a little bit left to dry here. There's a little bit of purple left, but I'm assured that's going to dry. These 3 pieces of fabric are fused together. I will be sure that there's absolutely no see-through on my backing. from my backing, from all of her pale pink body parts here. I'm assured of that. Now, what I wanted to show you is Elliot had suggested I make a ballet slipper. So this is my ballet pattern. I just did that because it's going to go like that. This bit of her flesh is going to be showing through. So she's on tippy toes in her ballet shoes. I also addressed the top hat exactly the same way. There's 2 layers of fabric here. There's 2 layers of black. I want it to be true black. But what I did is, again, I cut out a hunk of fabric and I glued just stripes of purple glue, and I put them 2 pieces of fabric together so it's nice and substantial. So now what I'll do with my pattern, I can do it actually. I'll just fold it over. So there's 4 pieces of fabric. I will pin this, as you can see, I was experimenting. I'll pin this on, and very carefully I'll cut out my ballet shoes, and I'll cut out this bit, so this bit will be on her cream foot there. So that's just how I'm going to be doing her legs. So here, folks, are her legs and her little ballet shoes. I just tucked her legs up under her petticoat there, and I'll glue them on, and I'll glue her shoes on with her little ties. I thought the little ties. And then when I go to free motion quilt this, I'll be obviously stitching this down, and it'll add a little bit more definition. But you can't see, the way I've done this, you can't see the shadowing through of this at all. Even though it looks pale, when I go to sew it, you'll really be able to see her legs and her little ballet shoes. I'm really pleased. So yeah, she's coming on.